Okay, would like to call our meeting back to order after our break. And next on our agenda, we are happy to have Dr. Carol Spalding, Janet Spriggs, and Jonathan Chamberlain from Rowan Cabarrus Community College for their presentation. Welcome.
Thank you. I do know that you're okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate this time very much to tell you and catch you up on some things about the college and to go over and see if there are any questions on our request this year for support from Cabarrus County. And we just want to thank the commission for all the help that you've given us so far. And who's doing our slides here, Megan? Okay, good, Megan. Okay, so most of you know this, but for people who are watching this on television, we want to remind people about our mission as the community college here, that we serve 2 counties and that we're the 9th largest community college in the state, one of 58 community colleges in the state. And so our key is improving lives and building community through public education, public higher education, and workforce development. So when you talk about jobs, that's really our sweet spot. And we'll give you some examples, though they'll be brief, about what we're doing. Our vision is building sustainable futures through the power of learning, and we feel like that's really the way up. And so many of our students tell us that we've changed their family tree forever because they have a skill or a degree that can get them a job. So we know that that's important, and we'll give you a little more detail about that. Our strategic plan's on our website. Our website just rolled out yesterday. We have a brand new one, which is very user-friendly for mobile app users. So we direct everybody there to get all the information they need about the college. But I will point out on the strategic plan about providing, acquiring, developing, managing human, fiscal, and physical resources, and give you a handout. Jonathan's got a handout that everybody has. That shows you where we are with the Advanced Technology Center. I know you know that's a big part of our futures, and I'm saying futures meaning everyone in the community's future. And there's an elevation of one of the floors there and where it's sited. As you know, we were able to get almost 3 acres from David Murdoch as a donation. And so we're hoping to start construction in December through February timeframe. And we're getting really, really excited about how that's going to impact our ability to provide great training for new jobs. So we're looking forward to that and having you over for that. And then also we've got this other key, number 5 strategic plan is being a catalyst for advancing the region. We're very serious about that. We've done all kinds of things to work on that area, including for new jobs, the North Carolina Manufacturing Institute, which is an 8-week program which is free. It gets people involved in manufacturing and looking at that as an option. So as we develop the Advanced Technology Center, we are also trying to develop people interested in the workforce. And so what we're finding is that the talent, the people that are going through that training, have multiple job offers at the end. So if anybody knows anybody who's looking for a position right now, this is the best and fastest and the cheapest way to get into the workforce with a really good paying job with benefits. And we've just graduated, if you will, our 100th student through this. So, and our placement rate there is about 98%. So it's really, really doing well. Yes, ma'am.
Are there plans for any other areas for an academy or something of that nature, like the building industry, or like this is manufacturing?
We think this model would work for other things, including construction. For the most part, this is the area that we're trying to get talent for businesses. And so it's a real sweet spot for us. This is a technician occupation. And we are looking to do other types of other fields. So far, what we're finding is other counties want to join with us. So Iredell's joined with us. Stanley's been talking to us about also being a part of this. So it's very popular. It's very effective, and we can use it for other kinds of occupations. Though we haven't started that at this point. What we're trying to do is get people interested in it. We could serve more students than we currently do. And so that's why you're getting my sales pitch right now. So we'll move on. This is a picture from, I guess, 2 Fridays ago. We graduated 858 students who got degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and that was about 1,300 diplomas and certificates. Some of these students have gotten multiple degrees, and 265 students got their equivalent of a GED, their high school equivalency. We wanted to let you know that 49% of those graduates were from Cabarrus County. You should be very proud of that, and that 45% of our student body comes from Cabarrus County as well. And so what we are seeing in our work product is that the size of our enrollment has shifted to Cabarrus County, just like Cabarrus County has grown. You can see from this picture here that in Rowan County we have 3,037 Rowan residents, and we have 4,161. This is college credit people, Cabarrus residents. And you can see the towns that they're from and the enrollment that's from there. And this happened about 18 months ago. It started shifting from Rowan County to Cabarrus. And so basically we're keeping the enrollment in Rowan and we're growing the enrollment in Cabarrus. And I think that would not be a surprise to you because you know how fast you're growing. And so this is an area that we're paying attention to. And, you know, we're thrilled that it's getting bigger.
Dr. Spalding, can I ask you a question before you move on? You're moving pretty quick. So
I'm sorry, I think I got half an hour. So
no, you got plenty of time. No problem.
Okay. Almost
But no,
relaxed then.
on the 265 people that received adult high school equivalent diplomas.
Yes, sir.
And trying to correlate in my mind, you know, the age group of these people and to try to figure out with the declining dropout rate in the K-12, are a lot of those going on to RCC? And if they are, what portion of this are students like that?
Okay, I'll
Or
give
is
you.
it adults that's been out for a long time and decided they want to go back?
Okay, so I can give you some of that and probably have to go do some research and bring you back a specific. Okay, so of the 56 students that actually walked across the stage, what was the number? Most of those were going on past their GED into the college. That's never happened before. And so we're doing a lot of work with them, trying to recruit them into either a certificate program or this manufacturing institute or welding or, you know, some other kind of skill set. So that's happening now. It didn't happen before. The age of the GED graduates the range is between 18 and 72 about. And as they go across the stage, each one of them is so happy. It's just amazing. You know, sometimes they cry when they go across the stage. It's been a long time coming for them. But there were a lot of young people too, who were going through graduating through the GED program. So we only saw 65 of their faces, or 56, I guess, 56 of their faces, but we had so many others who went ahead and did that. So we are seeing more of a transfer from this group into the credit program or into a significant skill building continuing education opportunity. We have a truck driving program. That's another opportunity for people to get a high-paid job, and so that's a new opportunity for us too. We have our driving school. We're at the baseball stadium, so it's pretty close to everybody. And so we are continually looking for opportunities for our students and to support the jobs that are here and the manufacturers or the other entities that are here. So it's very different to be in a situation where it's not the unemployed person looking for the job, it's the job looking for the talent. And so what we're seeing is the job looking for the talent, and then we build this skill gap piece to try and make sure that they're able to be successful when they're hired. And frankly, that's really such a good news story. I'm just really happy that you asked the question and we get to share it. So it's really doing well. So we'll go to the next slide, which is, go the next one after that, which is this one. It's about, people think about education as being a cost, but it's really an investment. And so here we know from an EMSI study that for every dollar spent by taxpayers to support Rowan Cabarrus Community College, which is really to support the education for our own neighbors, friends, relatives, $4.10 was added to the local economy. That's a great return. And so the community colleges and the way we are structured in the state of North Carolina is a huge asset to all of our business recruitment and all of our workforce development and to the futures of the people here. So it's not just the individual student, we're always told. It's them, it's their parents, it's their kids, it's their families, it's their the small towns. It's the whole region that benefits from this. So we'll go on. Okay, and so here's a cost comparison. We don't anticipate a tuition increase this year. We haven't seen one in the state budget, so these figures you can sort of take to the bank for the moment. And you can see that our tuition is about $2,252 at Rowan Cabarrus Community College, much better than a university tuition of $6,500 and local private colleges of about $28,000. So that's the tuition part, and when you put fees and everything else in it, that's what the big circle is all about. So our total cost there would be for the year $3,796. That's highly subsidized by the state taxpayers and very valuable to people. What we're finding is more and more students are coming to us for the first 2 years and transferring on to a university to finish their degrees or actually finish and go into the workforce. So our students are able to do this. Most of them are on Pell Grants, and the Pell Grant is about $5,700, so it pays for the tuition fees. So it's a very, very reasonable community college experience and very high quality. I want to introduce you to 3 students here very quickly. Chris McDonald, who works for Americhem. These 3 students are all from Cabarrus County, and he is a maintenance technician with Americhem in Concord and went through that manufacturing institute. And he went from being a sort of a sole practitioner, had a truck and some tools, and could do handyman kind of jobs and was making a living until somebody stole his tools. And there was no reserves. He didn't know anything. So he got involved in the Manufacturing Institute. He now has what I consider a real job. Not that wasn't, but this is a job with benefits and a future. And he's doing very well there. They love him. He loves it, and it has changed his life. We have many students who've gone through this Manufacturing Institute that have gone through, changed their lives, gotten married, bought houses, within a year. It's a huge transformation for them. And so this, that we really are happy about this program because it gets people into the job force now when they need it. So this is, his quote is, "I have a real career now. This is a job you can plan off of. I can plan a real life around this job." So, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. It's a really good thing. So we'll move on then to a college transfer, R.G. Brothers, who's transferring to East Carolina University and going into the hospitality area and has internships with Aeromark and that kind of thing. And we have other students who've gone to that program and they've done internships, I don't want to say all over the world, but partly. And they're doing very, very well. They come back and tell us that, Rowan Cabarrus really made it happen for them. So she's a great example of that. And our third student was our outstanding student and speaker at our graduation. She was amazing. She's an Army veteran, mother of 4, has had a difficult life, but is now graduated from nursing school, already has a job, doesn't expect to stay in nursing forever. In fact, she wants to go to medical school and be a doctor. So she's, I think, 34, 36, and she's just fabulous. So,
her speech was very impressive.
Thank you for being there. We appreciate that. Yeah, I thought she just lives it. So I think she's your poster child for Cabarrus County and just did a wonderful job for us. So we'll move on then to an overview of Connect and See Bond Act. This passed last March 15th, and was $2 billion effect on the state as a whole, $350 million for community colleges. Our share was $2.7 million for 2 counties, and we've split that between the 2 counties. And we are investing that in our buildings and future here. So we'll go to the next slide where we want to catch you up. I'm sure you know this, that our Cabarrus Business and Technology Center on Highway 29 has been sort of transformed this last year. You can see in the background there's a new early college sitting there which you funded. And I just saw in the budget for the county that they're about ready to get additional funding from the state, which they didn't have last year for the early college program. That's one good news story from there. In the front of this old high school that's now our very high-tech program area is Webster's Radiator Shop, which we were able to buy through our bond. So we bought this program, I bought this building, and we will invest another $500,000 in the renovation of that. None of that have we come to you for. The bond lets us spend money on buildings and renovation, but not on land. And so we were able to add this to our campus, and I think it's going to be really good for our motorsports presence. We also are in line for our light diesel program. We put a grant together for, it's called Golden Leaf, which is a funding opportunity, $500,000. Mike was able to pass on our application to that process, and we expect to find out June 1st whether we can put in a light diesel and make this a motorsports, automotive, light diesel kind of a place, and really have a presence on 29 that'll help us a lot. We have automotive on North Campus, but we don't have it here, and Cabarrus is really where racing lives and where car dealers are, and there are a huge number of jobs in that area that we want to be able to train for. So that's how we've spent our money. I'm going to now turn it over to Janet, which I've stolen some of your thunder, I didn't even see that, to talk about our Cabarrus County budget request.
Thank you. And thank you to the county manager. You see that here that we showed the request that we initially made in January, and then we updated our request after talking with Pam and seeing Mike's recommended budget. I think that the county manager did recommend our current operating request for $2.6 million, almost 2.5 and a little change, and our capital equipment request of $100,000, and then $100,000 for capital improvements, I believe, as well. That $100,000 request, as I understand in the budget, was earmarked for one of the requests on our 10-year capital plan, which was the air conditioning units, I think, at CBTC. And one thing that we would like to discuss is the possibility of letting us talk about that $100,000 as being used for the highest priority need, which may not be those air conditioning units. So not asking for more money for that, but wanting to have some conversation about whether or not we might consider reappropriating that money for another one of those needs that was on our list. And we can talk more about that if you'd like. And then we had in our initial request and on our 10-year capital plan a road expansion and land request that I think we had them split into two different items on the list that totaled about $3.6 million. And since that time, with the new information that we've talked with you about previously, we have downgraded that request to $3.19812 for specifically land purchase that we had discussed with you a couple of weeks ago and can provide more information and have more discussion about, or we hope to have more discussion about. So our updated request is at $5.8 million for the year. And I believe that the highest priority for us outside of the current operating, of course, to keep us moving, is that land expansion request. We have 23 acres on South Campus, and as you know, that is we serve the most students in Cabarrus County on our South Campus. The transfer program is heavy there, and most of the students that are Cabarrus County residents attend classes there. So we know that for the future, that investment is going to be critical to us as the county continues to grow and as we continue to grow with the county, as the transfer program becomes more and more a valuable option for our citizens. That's going to be very important to us, and we also anticipate that those prices are just going to continue to go up and up and up. So we would hope to be able to take advantage of that with some type of collaboration with the county or with your support to help us do that. And that, I think, is the last slide, Megan, except for thank you again and any questions that you might have for us.
And so Jonathan Chamberlain, our Chief Officer of College Environment, and Janet, who has a new title, Chief Operating Officer of Student Success and Service Excellence, combination of business and now student services, and I are all prepared to answer any questions you might have.
As Pam talked earlier about what you've already done. on your single-page list there was an air conditioning unit replacement phase 2. So that's already been funded.
It's in the CIP.
Right.
Yep.
So I guess you said you had another option that you would like for the board to consider.
On the 10-year capital plan that we had presented to you in January, under the immediate needs section, we had a list of items that were not necessarily in priority order there, as far as the highest need for us. And there were some smaller items that were around the $100,000 that we would just like to have the opportunity to establish which of those items was the highest priority. And Jonathan can probably speak more to the specifics on those items.
Right. The air conditioning units, that was really based upon their age, and they are aging. We're just launching into the removal and replacement of several units on that building, but the others are operating fine for the time being. So we can get another year or so out of those, but we did have other items on that prioritized list that we'd like to have the flexibility to kind of reevaluate and commit those funds to those individual projects rather than the specified air conditioning unit replacement.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any real issue with that, having that flexibility. The only thing is, the ones that you've got now are working, which is a good thing. But if something happens that they quit working, and you don't have no money to fix those. And
Understood.
that would be the problem.
Of course.
But that's the only problem that I see, though, and as far as the others, if you can do that and buy a little more time on the AC units, I'm okay with that myself.
Okay, other questions for our folks from the community college?
If you guys would like to provide that flexibility, we just need to know which items that they're going to fund, because Susan and the finance office, they keep track of that information. So if you could just advise us to what those particular items were, so she can keep track of it through our process.
Okay. Be happy to.
And just to comment further on your presentation, certainly I agree with what Commissioner Kiger said. Not only Shakia, but the entire graduation ceremony was extremely impressive. And I think you really, once you see that and see those students, you get the full impact that the college makes on lives in Cabarrus County. And there were all ages, just a very diverse group of folks. It's very impressive to see. And we certainly appreciate
It's our favorite day.
Yes.
And I'll agree with Chairman Morrison. Next, we got to hear all three of these speak at the scholarship luncheon. And if those stories don't grab you, nothing much will. You're kind of dead in your heart, I guess, if those don't move you. So, yeah, thanks for what you guys do. And it's awesome to share those stories and keep us all in check by hearing those every year and seeing what a difference education can make. And as you said, not just to them, but to their families, but not just to them and their families, but to this community as a whole through the workforce. We are all touched by those students that come out. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with somebody recently. I think folks in my age category think of the community college as being what it was 40 years ago. And it's nice to be able to share information. It's not that way at all. And, working with having a lot of high school students as employees, I'm surprised or frequently at the percentage of them that when I talk with them about their educational plans, they say, well, I plan to attend Rowan Cabarrus Community College for the first 2 years, and they understand the efficiency of that and how much money they and their parents can save, and just about everything is transferable now, whereas in the past, maybe not as much so. So I think the more we can get that word out to folks in the community, the better it will be for for the college and for the students and the opportunities that are available to them. So thank you for the work you're doing.
I want to just add one other piece to that, which is students who take college credit courses through Career and College Promise, which is the dual enrollment of 2017, are able to transfer those and earn those while they're high school students, and so those are free. So if you don't go to early college, you can still take college credit courses and have those transfer on. So what we found out is that Rowan Cabarrus Community College is the #1 provider of Career and College Promise in the state. And so Cabarrus is probably #1 of the two. We're doing great work with both of those school systems, actually 3 school systems. But Cabarrus is the leader there. So those students and their parents are really smart to start their college careers early, get them going, so they know they can do college work and then transfer when the time comes. Sometimes they wait 2 years and get the whole degree. Sometimes they take 15 credit hours with them, which is a half a year. And half a year is a huge savings if you're going to a private school or if you're going to a state university.
The children who are in the early college, when they, and I probably should know this, but I don't, when they come out of that, do most of them go on to like a 4-year college, or do they go back and, okay.
No,
So-
they're finished with us. For
Okay.
the most, I mean.
So there's nowhere for them to go with you as to the 4-year college okay.
Right. And sometimes they leave ours, they've got the high school diploma, they've got a degree from us, some of them have 2 degrees from us. And sometimes they go into the workforce, but most of them transfer.
And the demand for your early college, do you find that you have enough slots, or do you have a waiting list?
There's a huge demand for early college. But the early colleges are this formula of small, and actually Liz may know as much about it as anybody, and the Cabarrus spin on it is that it's not your smartest students. The competition doesn't come from that. It's the students who can benefit the most from this and that have their parents' commitment. They go through an interview, all kinds of things, and so they really want it. And they're giving up the regular high school teams and sports and other kinds of clubs and things like that, and they're going into ours. And they're doing a really fine job of that. So it's for students who are serious and are really sort of mature for what they're doing. And a lot of them have aspirations to go on to graduate school, and so this gives them a huge head start for that. It saves them an incredible amount of money.
Right. Any other questions? Well, we thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We are still a little ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. We had scheduled a break from 6:15 to 6:30. It is now 5:45, and I think our presenters from the fire districts, I know at least 2 of them are here already, so we will take a 15-minute break and start back at 6 o'clock.